Hunter Biden's baby mama. She's got a memoir coming out, guys. London Roberts. She's releasing a tell-all in August, the same month as the Democratic Convention. She's the mother of Hunter's 5-year-old daughter, Navy Joan, who the family absolutely refuses to acknowledge, to the point where they don't even put up a stocking for her on the family fireplace for Christmas. So then they stopped putting up stockings because she was asked, Jill and Joe were asked every year about it. So it's going to be Out of the Shadows, My Life Inside the Wild World of Hunter Biden. It's coming out on August 20th. And she's, this is the first time I think people are seeing the daughter. The daughter's on the cover of the book. And I got to tell you, that kid looks like Hunter Biden's kid. Have you seen it, Kane? Yeah, the kid looks like Hunter Biden's kid. I don't know how you can look at that little girl and be like, that's because I don't think she showed her face before, but everybody's been talking about this kid. She's a beautiful little girl. She's super pretty. But that's kind of sad that you wouldn't want to acknowledge that little girl. You're Joe and Jill, and you can't acknowledge one of your grandkids because you disapprove of the manner in which she was conceived. I mean, your son was on drugs. I can't imagine not acknowledging if I was a grandparent. I can imagine not acknowledging a grandkid. I can't imagine that. How evil are you? And how self-involved. I think Joe Biden was so self-absorbed that he was more into himself as a politician than he was being a dad, which is why all his children are messed up. And I think that his whole family revolved around his ego and making their family millions and being shady. That was it. But the book will be out, and she was working at a strip club in D.C. when they first met. She's from Kentucky. And apparently there's like tons of stories in this. And I guess when he was with her, that's when he was also dating his sister-in-law. And he just sort of brushed her off when he wrote about her in the book. He mentioned her like briefly, like, oh, he had women that he'd been with during his rampages, and they were hardly the dating type. But the thing is that London Roberts worked for his family for a while. Like, he had said that he challenged in court a woman, or sorry, not Kentucky, Arkansas, a woman in Arkansas, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I had no recollection of our encounter. That's how little connection I had. Except that's a lie. There are emails of him instructing, he employed her at Seneca. After I guess they got together, he employed her. And you guys remember this. And he had her on their insurance. He dropped her while she was pregnant from their family insurance, from this Seneca Rosemont insurance. And there are emails that came out a couple of years ago where he was instructing the staff to drop her. So that's an absolute lie. Hunter Biden's just a piece of... He still is. He's a horrible father. My family would call him that's what they would call him. An absolute... I don't know. He might be 50-something years old, but if I was Joe or Jill, I would whoop his ass with a wooden spoon and a flip-flop up and down Pennsylvania Avenue. But you remember those emails, right, Kane?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna pull this up because I got this in my bookmark system. She worked at Rosemont Seneca. Yeah. I mean, and she had testified already in the tax evasion trial in California. She had already testified to this. And he was going to cut ties with her. So all of that, so the emails in that came out ahead of her testimony in the tax trial in California. So him saying that he had no recollection, not only did he have recollection, he hired her to work at Rosemont Seneca. And then when she got inconveniently pregnant and wouldn't get an abortion, then he dropped her from the insurance. He cut off her insurance. She's pregnant with his child and he cuts off her insurance. Fires her. He is scum. All the wrong people overdose. So, I said it. Somebody should, right? It's just ridiculous. And the family's like, oh, well, at one point, Joe and Jill had to publicly acknowledge her. And this was not even a year ago. It was in July of last year that they were forced to finally publicly acknowledge her. And all they said was that this isn't a political issue, etc. And we only want what's best for our grandchildren, including Navy. But as Kane reminds, even Biden's dogs and cats got stockings at Christmas. Not little Navy Joan never did. Ever. They've never even seen her. They've never met her. Hunter begrudgingly met her. And he wasn't going to remember. He had to be drugged to court for child support. He had refused to pay child support even after she took numerous paternity tests. And, I mean, you take one look at this kid. That kid looks like Hunter. She has her mom's prettiness, but she's got her dad's eyes. That child has Hunter Biden's eyes in that, for sure. You can see it. I mean, not only did he not want to pay, and Juan's showing you on the simulcast, the book cover, you can look at that. That little girl looks like Hunter. But then he wouldn't pay child support. He's a deadbeat. Can you imagine if I was Joe Biden, because Hunter now is trying to play responsible dad, happy families with his new Instafluencer wife, and their little kid. I wouldn't allow them to be at any of the White House events. I would not allow them. Because it's so embarrassing. They have no self-awareness. They're white trash. That family, actually, white trash is better than that family.